When it comes to the debate of which heroes are broken in Overwatch, most people tend to say Widowmaker or Hanzo because they do a lot of damage instantly, commonly being dubbed one-tap or one-shot heroes, which I do kind of agree with. They do a stupid amount of damage on a crit, but with Widowmaker it takes a bit more skill because her shots have to be a lot more precise than Hanzo, who can essentially pre-fire pot shots and then get lucky when a 200 HP enemy just so happens to walk into his arrow. That's the main difference between Hanzo and Widowmaker. Widow's bullets are instantaneous and don't really have to travel, whereas Hanzo's arrows do, and therefore luck does actually play a part in his value. This isn't me saying Hanzo takes no skill, it's just me saying that in the debate of snipers, Widowmaker takes slightly more skill. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you why you should learn Widowmaker and become really skilled with her. Because next season, I truly think snipers are going to prevail with the introduction of passive healing. But first, I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. First things first, kit breakdown. Now, Widow's kit is actually super simple. Her gun is a high-impact sniper that needs to charge up when aimed, and an SMG when hip-fired, making her effective both at range and close-range combat. Her two main abilities are Venom Mine, a sticky mine that attaches to surfaces and gets triggered when enemies pass by it, dealing damage over time. And Grappling Hook, which is... come on, it's a grappling hook. It lets you grapple up to high ground and stuff like that. My first tip for learning how to play Widowmaker is to learn how to position yourself properly. Whilst yes, you can use your grapple to get up to the high ground and most of the time you get the most value up there, simply just playing in the back line like Ana does and positioning yourself out of the way of the main fight and taking the off angle at a range on the ground. Just make sure you have some form of cover, a health pack, or a safe way to get back to a support in case you get low because you only have 175 HP. That's probably the only flaw of Widowmaker. You're trading health for damage, and by doing so you have to have immaculate aim. And that brings me on to my second tip for learning how to play Widowmaker, and that's to practice aim training whenever you can. In between games when you're queuing, or even just as a warm-up before you even hop into playing games. Widowmaker's sniper is not as lenient as heroes like Ashe, who don't have to be spot on with their aiming, so having good aim is a staple part of being good at Widowmaker. As you can see in the gameplay in the background, my aim isn't great, plus I'm playing on controller so it's harder for me to do stuff like flicking. It's not impossible, it's just a bit harder, which is why I focus more on my positioning. The code I use for aim training the most is GGSYK, because it has different levels of movement ranging from very easy to hard. It shows you the exact damage numbers and it also lets you play around with damage boosts. My third tip for learning how to play Widowmaker is to learn when you should use your ultimate, Infrasight. Infrasight is great because it's literally just wall hacks. Both you and your team can see your enemy's position through walls, and that allows you to prepare your shots and your team the ability to see who they should focus first. If they spot that an enemy Ana is out of place and playing by herself in the backline, they can either tell you to take her out or dive on her and do it themselves. It's best used just before entering a team fight so that you can see where everyone is, picking them off slowly as they peek corners and come to the objective to engage in the main fight. This is another reason people call Widowmaker OP. It's not actually doing anything other than telling you where the enemy is. You and your team still have to do most of the work. My fourth and final tip for learning how to play Widowmaker is to remember your gun isn't just a sniper, but an SMG too. As Widow, you're gonna get dived left, right, and center, and, well, a sniper isn't exactly a close-ranged weapon. So remember that when you hip-fire your gun, it's an SMG. This is also really useful for when you have to play grouped up with your team in a close-quarters team fight, because whilst you might not secure any kills yourself with your SMG, you're still assisting with dealing damage and you can focus multiple enemies at the same time, rather than just having to focus one. This allows you to melt them all down and then eventually get a team kill. But that just about does it for this video. Now, like I said at the start of the video, I think snipers like Widowmaker and Hanzo are going to be really good next season because of the introduction of tank and DPS passive healing, as they're going to be playing at range, so they're going to be in and out of combat constantly, and in turn will constantly be self-healing. There's only 2 weeks to go now, and I honestly can't wait. I've had enough of this season. It's felt so bad. It's been so slow as well.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like this video, as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. Let me know if you have any requests for other heroes in the comments below, and subscribe so you don't miss that guide when it comes out. There are some heroes that I probably won't be able to make a guide on, simply because I don't play them enough. But there are many more heroes on the list that I can make guides on than I can't make guides on. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.